up to 2:30 for my glue gun to heat up. I've been in the first shift with David, and I had to just, my feet are just way too sensitive today, so I was like, dude, I gotta go in. I will have a video from the first shed and what David is working on, because I think a lot of y'all, I think a lot of y'all will find it very interesting. My hair is already happening, it's just 2:30. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I am matting, because they have to be matted on something, my photos for the county fair. I'm going to mat them, and then I'm going to use my Sharpie or my paintbrush to go over and to cover any spots on the mats, because I've had this board for a while. I'm going to cover any spots on the board. That is not, and mine are not going to be perfect. Sorry, people. I'm just going to barely tack them with glue, because then I'm going to put these in a big gallery frame. So mine are not going to be perfect. So whoever judges these at the fair, please look at the photography and not my matting, because my matting skills are not the best. But I had a foam board and I didn't have to waste any money to mat it, so I just said I use my foam board. So I'm prepping my photography to go into the fair. So as I told y'all, this was Haley at about 12:13. She was sitting on the round bale pace, fell down, and Cream Corn the pony came up and said, "Are you okay?" And I snapped a photo. This has been one of my favorite photos of my daughter during her pony era, where she would break some ponies out and teach them how to ride, and then we'd sell them. And so I want to enter this into the fair. So what I'm doing is just putting just enough dabs of glue to hold it during the fair, and then I'm going to pop them off and reframe them when I get them home. So that is what I'm doing. The fair is in Jamestown this week. They're actually having the wagon They're actually having the wagon show right now at the fairgrounds. So they're doing the big Belgians with the big wagons, with driving them and doing all the figure eights and testing the driver skill and testing the teams and all that good stuff. I put that on a little crooked, but you know something? You know, it just is what it is. I wanted to be able to use this glue because I don't want it to ruin my picture. And if I use Loctite or something, it will dissolve my photo. I don't want that to happen. So I've been trying to use it. I got to straighten it up a little bit. Trying to use this hot glue so that it will not hopefully ruin my photo, so that I can pop her back off and frame her back in a gallery frame when I get her home. Because I certainly do not want these ruined. And I may get little corner stickers if I go to the Dollar Tree and I can find them. I may get little corner stickers to go over the corner to kind of decorate them, you know. As soon as I get this glued, I'll show you what it looks like. Just to add a little, or I could cut them out of something, just to add a little pizzazz. But they have to be matted to be entered, so that's the only part I don't really like about entering stuff is you have to affix them to something. And I can't go out and buy a $6 matting thing that hooks them in without hurting the photo. I can't afford to do that for everyone because I'm entering 7 prints. So I am doing it my way. Y'all know I do everything my way. So there's the first one. And I'll add little corner things, I guess. I'll get some. I've got to go to the Dollar Tree. I've just got to break down. It's going to have to happen. And I'll go to the Dollar Tree and I will get some little something, decorative somethings to put in the corners. Now this is my bonus child. She's actually an adult now, but I took this about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And she was in the swamp and over there behind the barn, and my cat wandered up and she picked her up and she was having a moment with my cat, and I snapped a photo and I think it's gorgeous. So I'm going to enter that one. I thought it was pretty. So I'm going to enter her. And I haven't entered pictures. I've only ever entered pictures once. And when I started back several years ago, and I was actually able to like do photo settings for people, I thought that once you were making a little bit of money taking photos, you were not allowed to enter your photography anymore. Oh, no. You have to earn so much money per year before you are considered a pro. So I could have still been entering my photos all this time and I didn't know. Of course, I've been so sick and my legs have been so bad, my health's been so bad that I haven't taken photos in years. But now that I'm doing better, I'm like, I'm going to totally challenge myself tomorrow, and I'm going to go and I'm going to stand in line. I may ask for a chair, but and I'm going to enter my photography in the fair, and I'm going to become part of my freaking county again. This is part of my climb back into life, where I've been doing this PT for almost a year, and I'm just ready to get back into life. So that's where I am. And you stupid piece of cardboard. I would only ever have problems trying to mat something. That would only be my luck. So it's nice to kind of have my health. You know, my doctors, my nurses are just ecstatic for me, which is sweet. But it's nice to have my health back into a place to where I'm wanting to do these things again, and I'm wanting to be part of the community. What you make? I'm matting my photos for the fair. They have to be matted to be entered, so I'm matting them. I may have to trim my boards down after I mat them. So I'm matting them, and then I may, when I go to the Dollar Tree, find some little cute stickers to put on the corners. But I can't afford those big expensive mats, so I'm just making my own. Y'all know that's how I roll anyway, so I'm just making my own. But these pictures are several years old, but they're some of my favorites, and so I'm entering them. And I've only ever entered my photography one other time, so I'm very excited to see how it does. I may not win a dad burn thing, but at least people will know, hey, Elizabeth is back in the land of the living and actually doing stuff again. Whoop, whoop. The thing that I fear the most about tomorrow is actually standing and walking enough to get them entered, because it's probably going to be an hour and a half process. And since the storms came through earlier in the week, I have had some issues with lateral steps in my knee and hip falling out of place, so I'm a little concerned about that, but I've been doing really good otherwise. So here's that one. This is one of my boneless children's. And Ember the cat. So we got that one, and this one matted now. But they don't have to be perfect, and I'm not shooting for perfect. I'm just shooting for, by the rules, it has to be on a background, on a mat. So I'm following the rules. Yeah, I'm going to mat this one next. And then I'm going to sit down and edit a video, because I've been in the first show with David all morning. And he's doing something that is very interesting that I wanted to give you all a sneak peek at. If you're squeamish, though, do not watch it. If you're squeamish, don't watch it. But it's very interesting. And for the people that enjoy this, it will be kind of a really rare, nice peek at the wildlife around here and what my husband does and the love that we have for the animals that we actually do handle in his job. Well, his job is hobby. It's his passion. I wish it was his job and that he could quit his job and just do that, but it's just not bringing in the money to justify that yet. So Maybe one day it will. I don't know, but right now it is not. This cardboard like to buckle on me, and it's making me mad. Okay, there we go. But it's just his hobby, and this guy last year got a huge boar bear, and he wanted it tanned, but because of how big it was, the price to have it tanned was just astronomical. Well, David has a really good, I'm looking for glue sticks. David has a really good bond with a tanning place out in Iowa, and they give him really good, where are my glue sticks? They give him really good prices on, where are my glue sticks? They give him really good prices on hides that he fleshes, because he fleshes so well that they don't have to do any work. And they're like, we'll take your fleshed animals, because basically we don't have to do any finish work on them. We just send them through the skinner. It's like thins them down. They're like, we just send it through that and put it in the pan. And David doesn't have a big enough place for this big bear, so he has to flesh it and send it off. But it's going to allow this man to be able to get his bear done at an affordable price, and so that he will have a memory of this, his hunt, his whole life. And it's beautiful, big old boar bear, beautiful. And it was an honor. I pet it and loved on it for a minute. It was just an honor to be able to touch that animal. This is this one. This is a young lady and her older Tennessee walking horse. She wanted pictures with them, and I just happened to catch the sun in that gorgeous old tree at the right angle. I'm telling you, that was luck. That was pure luck. I have ideas about, how I want my photography to turn out, and I do pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But I think that shot, I think the good Lord was like, let me just give her a bonus today. Because that was a pretty good one. Okay, now I want a rather square one. This one, a rather big, pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to, this is one I'm putting in portrait. This is my daughter. I look like security when I follow my daughter around because of all my tattoos and how big and burly I am. So, these are going in our local photography contest. And as I speak, the fair board, the lady that's over the fair board, is actually sending me messages of all the classes of the wagon class, because I'm going to be writing the story for the wagon class. It's wagon days, and they do all the wagon classes and stuff today. So I'm going to be doing the story for that for the newspaper. And so after I get all this done, I need to sit down and start on that. And I do it all just as on a volunteer basis. Hey, Denise, I'm so glad to see you. How you doing, sweetie? I worry about you a lot. I thought about texting you the other day, and I didn't want to bother you if you wasn't feeling good. But it's, I like my fair board, and when they enter stuff in the state, if she needs help writing a script to go along with a video that she's made, or if she needs help writing a little thing about the fair and the emotions behind a county fair, and I've done that several times. I love to help. It's my way of saying, hey, I'm still part of this community, even though I'm sick a lot, and I'm still useful. And she reaches out and helps me a lot. And then a lot of the area businesses that have stuff that are coming up, I will write blurbs and send them in, and she will actually run them for free. If they're like, people that I know, and then I enjoy going there and stuff, like True West and stuff. And so she'll put those in for free for me because I write free stories for her all year. So it's we have a very good relationship, and she's the sweetest woman ever. And so I've got to write the wagon show. This is gorgeous. Now, this was not luck. This was an old rundown gas station that had been, it was like from the 40s and 50s, and it was falling apart, and it was old and decrepit, and I put my daughter in a prom dress all diddied up in front of the broken door, and then I put it in black and white. Now the color one is just as gorgeous, but I love black and white, and I love that. I'm not very clear, I think, because I'm sitting in front of the air conditioner because it's a little warm here today. Now, once I get these matted, I'm going to then make the video of what David's doing. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is a girl with her forehead up to her horse's forehead. It's the same young lady. And that horse has since passed on, so I'm so glad I got these photos for her. So glad I got these photos for her so that she has these memories. And she's an adult now, but I still asked her permission to enter her. I still asked her permission to enter her in the fair. I was like, can I enter those photos? She's like, heck yeah, they're yours. You took them. But I didn't want like her to go to the fair and see herself on the wall in the photography division and be like, I need to get told about that. So I was like, hey, Josie, can I enter your photo? And drop me blue button. She was actually very ecstatic that I wanted to enter the couple of photos of her and her horse. And I think they probably mean more to me than they will to the judges because I know the bond that those two had behind the photo. But I still think it's gorgeous. The color one is also just as beautiful. But I'm a black and white girl, so I'm putting my black and white one in. Now tonight at the fairgrounds, after the wagon show, and they've got like the Belgians and drafts and the mini jacks and donkeys and horses and all the carriages and stuff up there right now, and they're doing just like for driving skills, and then they're doing patterns to show how well the drivers drive and the horses work and stuff like that. They're doing all that right now. But tonight they're having the mule games. And if you don't know the history between myself and David, our first date was the mule games at the county fair. That was the first time we ever went anywhere alone together. And of course I was all about the mule games because that's one of my favorite things that happens at our fair. And he spent the whole night, because he was ex-rescue squad and EMT and stuff like that, so he spent the whole night talking to friends. And that was their first official date. And they used to have it in like September, but the fair is early this year. Look at that. I don't care how old I get, I will always look at this photo and think how lucky I was to see the love between this girl and this horse, because they loved each other. They loved each other. Now I decided that I am going to enter Oscar. I decided I am going to enter Oscar, even though I clipped his head off when I blew him up. I'm going to enter Oscar. It's just too cute, so I'm going to enter him. And if the judges are not willing to overlook and it's cropped kind of evenly, but I just think it's a cute picture, cute context, and cute composition, so I'm going to enter it. We'll see what the judges have to say. I don't have super high hopes because we have a lot of talented people in this area. Oh my gosh, photography. And it's because we have such beautiful background here in the sticks. Hey, Sam. Kimberly Sam. That's a mouthful, especially when you're speaking with a southern twang. But we have such beautiful landscapes and backgrounds here. It's really hard to take a bad picture if you live in this neck of the woods and you have the Big South Fork and all the rivers and all the gorges and the mountainsides and the valleys. It's almost impossible to take a bad photo if you live here. So I have to say that the land does 99% of the work for me. So here's Oscar matted. I'm doing good. How you doing? So we'll go through the ones that I have matted again. And this is my favorite. This is the girl and her horse. got one more to mat and it'll be done. This is the one I have the highest hopes for. It's my daughter at a very old gas station that was old and it's just falling down. And I said, the juxtaposition between a gorgeous girl in a prom dress and an old gas station just was too much for me, and I had to take photos. I do have good hopes for this one just because of the light and the tree and the light play. But I don't know what else will be in these categories when we have, like I said, really talented people. There's Haley and her pony. This picture is 10, 12 years old. But like I said, I hadn't entered anything since I've been sick. And then when I was doing photography, I didn't think I could. But they're like, yeah, you were not making enough money. You can still be entering. So I'm entering some of my older stuff. Oh, you're here. Oh, you're in Turkey. There's my bonus child and my cat that I snapped one day. I was thinking about entering my husband in his overalls where he's doing his little, hillbilly motif, because I did those lumberjack sessions for people, and he was my model to kind of sell those. But if I cut my photo copyright off of it, I don't know if they'll accept it because it's not really the right size. But it's a terribly cute photo. And he told me that I could. I just don't know if I want to take it and try to make a straight cut and cut my thing off. I am in, oh, thank you. It's hard to take a bad photo. I live in Tennessee, in a podunk town, an hour from any interstate, and we live in the backwoods. And I'm a retired parole officer, and I have a disorder like MS, so I've been working really hard for the past year to get my legs and body doing more so I can get back to life. And so this is exciting for me. Just entering stuff in the county fair is exciting for me. And my husband works at a factory, an automotive factory, but then he's also a trapper tanner. And he's actually in the fur shed today, fleshing out a big old black bear hide that's got to go be tanned. And we live very close to nature. We eat more deer than most people probably ever will in their life. That's kind of what keeps us going through the winter. That one turned out cute. That's Haley and her cat Muffin. And we're just, we're country people. We're a simple country family. Just a very simple country family. So we're not everybody's cup of tea, but we're bumpkins, real bumpkins. Hey, Gypsy. So those are the portraits that I'm entering. I don't know if I'm going to enter David's hillbilly one or not. I have a backing cut for it if I decide to take it out of the frame and cut my photo copyright off. He told me I could. I haven't made my mind up. I'll think about it. They get entered tomorrow, so y'all toss me up some good energy that my legs will hold me while I stand in line to enter stuff. I may take my rolling car. It's got a wheel that needs to be fixed, or I may just take my folding chair. Tomorrow will be a test for me because I will be standing for probably an hour and a half. So, and I'm fixing to edit a video of the first shed, what David's doing today for you all, and then I'm going to start writing stories because it's fair time on the mountain, and the wagon and driving show is happening right now with the Belgians and the big carriages and stuff, and the lady's actually sending me the documents of who's winning each class and who entered, and I'm going to have to write that story. So I've got a lot to do today. I do that as volunteer work for my community. I love her paper. I've known her since I was very young. She's a sweet woman, and so I volunteered to write the more agricultural stuff for her because a lot of her writers don't understand a lot of the horse show stuff. So I'm going to do that for her. I told her I'd take on a story or two. I can't do a whole lot. I'm empty. I drink about 2 or 3 of these a day, y'all. I have to with that medication I'm on for the weight loss. Oh, and I weighed in just 2.5 weeks because it's not been 3 weeks yet when I weighed in. So about 2 weeks and 4 days, or 2 weeks and 5 days, 2 weeks and 4 days. I have altogether lost almost 14 pounds, 13 point something other pounds. I'm very proud of myself. Now the first 8, that first week was pure fluid. So I've lost another about 5 or 6. So I'm doing good. I am located on the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee, in the United States. And if you ever hear of the Appalachia, the Scots-Irish dialect, I have it. That's how I speak. And I can stop it and be professional, but I prefer to twang because it's how I grew up. But if you go back in my videos a few days, you'll see Appalachia sayings spoken aloud by a real hillbilly. That'd be a funny one for you. I'm sure you'll probably laugh at the way I talk. But we do simple stuff. We craft. We talk about our land, what we grow. I do garden rambles because I have to walk so much every day for my physical therapy. Try to keep you all invested in what my husband's trapping and tanning and how the seasons are going, the wildlife issues. Like our bear population is booming right now. We've got black bear everywhere at Pizza Hut, at the bank. They're just roaming through town right now, and they never come out of the woods. So I'm hoping that the Wildlife Resources Agency adds on a couple of hunting days within the next couple of years, because our black bear population is now so healthy that they're having to come out of the woods. And that's not good. We want them to stay, we have enough food for a very healthy population, but they're allowing them to get too numerous. So it's all about balance. And so we've about got the balance where the black bears met. And I will try to put in some pictures of David's new fur that he got done and got back. He did some garment quality stuff, and they turn out gorgeous. And it's just, for me, because I've got Cherokee and Lenape in me. Liz, you are one of a kind, Jim. I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. And I'm wearing a Laura Pergolizzi shirt, and I live in Appalachia, and I got Freddie Mercury on my arm. But my husband traps and hands black bears. I'm well rounded, let me tell you. I'm a weirdo. But, I tell everybody, somebody said, well, you have a narrow mind. I said, well, I may have a narrow mind, but it's open on both ends. So I like to be silly. But we are blessed to live in a place where nature still functions as nature. Predators are still predators. Prey is still prey. And you get to see how the world and the environment, Mother Nature, is supposed to work. And I love that. And when I got to pet that big old black bear that David is fleshing today to be sent off to be garment quality tanned, it was an honor to pet that big brute. It was an honor to show him respect. Even though he was harvested, but now he was the person that harvested ate him. So he was dinner, he was food, he sustained a family. We all still eat wildlife around here. And bear, if you know how to get the grease out of it, is really good, really good, really good. We even eat the common brown snapping turtle if they're of the size that you can keep and eat. You have to boil the meat before you batter and fry, but it's really good too. We eat, David cannot wait for squirrel season because he wants squirrel dumplings so bad. I will make a video about that as well. But we have a very simple life, and I think everybody watches my videos and they're like, you're always so happy. And I do rant on political stuff and the dissidents in the world and people that I think do not invest themselves or become so nihilistic that they fail to see the world around them and they fail to really live. I do go on rants about that sometimes, but I am 99% of the time very happy and very go-lucky, carefree. And I think it's because I live so simple. And I think it's a hard life because you have to take care of your land, you have to take care of your gardens, and you put up most of your own food, and you do hard work, but it's very rewarding to really feel connected to the earth and grounded. And we call them limb chickens because they do taste like chicken. So we call them limb chickens around here. But like, even if we're driving on the road, like last night we had to run to Walmart. I hate Walmart with a passion, but we had to go to Walmart. And what was it David needed? He needed a new fluorescent light for his shop. So we had to go to Walmart. And we saw something big and furry on the side of the bypass when we were driving up to Walmart. And we stopped to see if it was something that could be salvaged, because even roadkill, I don't care if it's a coyote, a deer, that animal, if it's usable, use it. Don't disrespect it and let it go to waste. lots of times if it's if somebody in the winter freshly gets a deer, our sheriff's department will have names of families that are in need of meat, and they will call the families, and the families will come pick up the deer, and TWRA is told this family got this deer. So if we see roadkill and it's usable, we'll pick it up and we'll just call our game warden Andrew and be like, we got roadkill at this point, this place, and he'll be like, cool beans, I've got it marked down, go. He doesn't want to see the wildlife lay there and rot and waste either. So we have a huge respect for these animals. But for me today, this big boar bear that David's working on, it touched my heart to be able to just, pet him, handle him for a minute, and to show him some respect and love. And I just felt it was just such a great, almost spiritual thing to be able to pat the head of a 400 plus pound black bear and see how beautiful he is up close, and know that our area is making these animals thrive, and they're healthy and their lives are good. They have plenty of food. They have great places to, get and cave in and hibernate in the winter. And they have such good lives that they grow to such huge numbers, huge weight limits. And they're coming back so quickly, it's just, for me, it was just kind of like a spiritual encounter to be able to pet him and love on him for a second, because you just, so many people go through life and they want to talk about wildlife, and they want to talk about what they think about wildlife, but they've never seen it up close. They've never understood the predator prey. When I go out in the woods, I am not top dog. You just don't hunt for pleasure around here, because a wild boar and bear will kill you. We have mountain lions too. They say we don't, but they're on trail cams. We do. So it's a privilege to live here, but you also have to keep your eyes wide open. So squirrels are actually really good. Squirrels, they taste like chicken. We call them limb chickens around here. But we try to make a few pots of squirrel dumplings every year. And if people really understood where their food came from, if they ever had to actually harvest their own food, process their own food, they would not have such views of other people and how other people live if it's different. If you were ever responsible to feed yourself, from obtaining the animal to putting it in the freezer and then to putting it on your table, you would not have a bad view of people that live close to nature. You would respect the crap out of them, because we are up close and personal with that animal. And even though we have to take its life, and in what I was taught as a little girl was, when you get to that animal, you thank it and you bend down and try to take its part of its last breath, so that it lives on through you. And of course, you do that with the meat that you eat and sustain as well. And you thank that animal, and we always treat our animals that we have with respect, and we actually normally name them, and we get really attached to them, and we love when people want to purchase the fur and they get really excited about them because they're beautiful and they want to name them too. So it's a weird way of living. But my husband he only nuisance traps. You never trap to eradicate. That just opens the land up to rogue or transient, really nasty animals to come in and fight over the land. That creates a hostile area. You only trap to keep the nuisance animals out, like the ones that are going and taking calves from farmers, or going after chihuahuas in subdivisions, or even going after children in subdivisions. Like we've had 2 people mauled to death in the last 3 years here, because they lived out and they got out checking farm and didn't have a firearm, and pack of something after you, and you ain't got nothing. You low dog on the totem pole, you gonna get eat. So he only traps. I say we. I don't do anything anymore. He only traps where the Wildlife Resource Agency tells him there are problems or nuisance animals, and our beaver population here has spiked so high that it's actually changing the way the water sheds off the mountaintop, and it's ruining our rivers and our lakes. So they're also trying to get the beaver population controllable again, so that they will stop augmenting our waterways, because it's actually affecting the shed off and the creeks and even the city lake where we all get our water, and even the runoff down to Del Hollow. It's affecting all of that. So we do important stuff. I say we. He does important stuff, and he does it as a hobby, as a passion, and he does it because he loves. He has great respect for these animals, and it's one thing to harvest and take the meat, but if you can use every part of that animal, it's for my background, from my Cherokee and Lenape background, it's a much greater respect to show that animal, to use every possible part of it than to waste any of it. And so that's why I do a lot of my dream catchers with coyote ribs and bones and skulls, and it's just a much healthier show of respect from my culture. And not everybody gets that, and I understand that, but it's my culture. And so that's how we live. That's what we do. And for the person in Turkey, I actually have a friend that is in Prague, over kind of towards you. So as weird as I am, I used to go to all the North American Queen conventions, which they had the last one this year, and I met Peter Freestone. And we became really good friends, and we keep in touch. We video chat and message each other and keep up with each other and each other's lives, and we're just like normal friends. Just like, how you doing? How's the cat? We don't talk about Queen or Freddie. We just keep up. We just enjoy each other. But I have him over there, and he's a sweetie pie, and I love to learn about different cultures, and I know that I look like an alien to a lot of people with the way I live. That's what city dwellers used to look like to me, and then I've moved and lived and gotten friends all around the world, and I really love to learn about anthropology, sociology. I like to go back and learn about cultures and how they've grown and how they've changed, and just the derivative of human nature. I just really enjoy trying to understand every aspect of the globe. So I know I probably look weird to you, and that's okay. I am weird. I still live very old school. Like, if it wasn't for my electricity and running water, I would probably be closer to the 1890s to 1910 than I am to today. Oh, and there's one more thing we have to do before I close out for today. We have to have a moment of silence for my refrigerator that passed away yesterday. My refrigerator was a wedding present. He was fixing to turn 21 years old. He made it to almost 21 years. The lower part is still working, but the freezer's not working well. So we've actually put it in the mudroom just to keep water and stuff cold, chilled, until we scrap it. And so I had to go buy a new refrigerator, and I put all my pictures and stuff back on it. So, except for the profile and the no handles, it's got the built-in handles on the door. It looks the same. But a moment of silence for my almost 21-year-old refrigerator that finally gave up the ghost yesterday. He's been moved to the mudroom to just chill water until he finally passes. He's basically been placed in the mudroom hospice category just to keep water cold until we scrap him and make a few bucks on the metal that's in him. So I mourned him yesterday because he had been with me for so long, and I knew every inch of him and cleaned him 50,000 times, and we had just bonded over the years. Been through a lot together. He's on mudroom hospice with just chilling water until he goes to the scrapyard. And I have a new Frigidaire. Looks just like the other one, and it's actually a Frigidaire, except for the doors have built-in handles. So I was saddened, but I can't be mad at him. He lived for almost 21 years. Oh, Sab, if something ever happened to the world and it was you had to feed yourself, you would learn a way to make a snare or make a fall trap, or you would learn a way. People have the inclination to survive, and you never really know what you're capable of until you're put into a survival scenario. For me, at a very young age, my family was very poor until my mom got through college and my dad got established. He was a blacksmith farrier, and when he got established in the bigger barns, our life changed remarkably. But until third, fourth, fifth grade, we were very, very poor. So poor that we would take on like the contracts in the summer to strip and wax the whole school floor. Do that. And so during deer season, we all had hunting licenses. We all had to get our hunting license as soon as we were of the age to have to do it, because we needed everyone in the woods to harvest venison, because that's what we ate during the winter. And the green beans we put up and pressure cooked during the summer, and the corn we put up out of the garden, and the tomatoes we put up out of the garden, and the potatoes we dug up out of the garden. We did not eat very much store-bought food at all. And we were very meager people. And during the snowstorms, the ice storms, the winter, we heated with wood anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. We would just light all the hurricane lights in the house, the oil lamps, and life would just continue. We would just cook on the stove, and that's kind of the way our house is still goes today. Now the stove I have is not the best cooktop. I used to have an awesome cooktop wood stove, but we changed and went to a different model. But now David's stove in the first shed, I could go out there and fry bacon if I wanted to in the winter. It gets hot, buddy. It'll fry anything. You just have to sit there and hold your skillet because it doesn't have the flattest top. Oh, if you were hungry, you'd have the stomach to clean it. It's not really as bad as you think it is. It is, if you understand anatomy and you know what we're all made of, it's not really bad. But if you were hungry, yeah. And even when we clean, we want the liver and heart. And we get the inner loins and the back strap. A lot of people don't know there's inner loins. We call them catfish loins. We pick that puppy dry. I mean, we take everything off of it that's edible. And the only thing we don't do anymore is we don't keep like the intestines and clean them and boil them for casings for sausage. No, we don't do stuff like that anymore. But now, even when I was little, and Grandpa would he would cut the hogs. He would neuter the hogs. It was my job to run the testicles into Grandma before they got cold, so that she could clean them, slice them, and get them on a fry because she swore if they got cold, they did not taste as good when they were fried. So I grew up on a farm. We ate off the farm. We treated our animals well. We gave them the best life possible because we knew that they were going to sustain us eventually. And you learn to be very respectful and accountable, and you want that animal to have a good life, because you know that animal is going to be part of your life for a long time because it's going to feed your family. So it's just a deeper respect. And even in the act of cleaning one, it's a respect about how you do it. And push come to shove, everyone would probably learn how to do it. And I don't think it would be as difficult as people think it would be. Of course, I'm a retired parole officer, and I've walked murder scenes and seen autopsy photos, so I've lived in a world most people have not. But even as a child, when it was time to cull the chickens and put chickens up, I helped. I didn't like dealing with the chickens, because chickens are still kind of crazy for a few seconds even after you've killed them. Snapping turtles move for like 2 hours even after you kill them. I mean, some of those things are a little weird, but like the normal animals that you slaughter, I had no problem with that. Did taxidermy for years and always tried to do honest by the animal, make it look as beautiful as possible. I don't know, it's just, we still rely on these animals, and we still have a very symbiotic relationship with these animals. And so we have a very close bond with these animals, and so they are just part of us. And we're very thankful for them and the sustenance they provide. And it's just like we've got the fawn over at the barn that's got a bad leg that there's no refuge that can take it. And the wildlife agent that we have, our game warden, he was like, listen, just try to keep it to where it's not, doesn't become a pet, but throw out a little bit of feed and give it a mineral lick. Keep it kind of scared of humans. Let it stay at the barn while it heal, and it'll follow some deer off a little bit, but can y'all take care of it till it's better? And we were like, yeah. So my husband went straight and got mineral lick for it. Any vegetables I cut, I throw out the cuttings for him, and as he grazes, he finds them. He's ate half of my garden that's over. We've got 2 gardens. He's ate half of my garden that's over at the barn, but I don't care as long as he's healthy and he's going to grow up and he's going to be able to move on and be wild. And that's part of my job and the respect I have to show. I don't just live to harvest animals. It's all about respecting them. And so I'm going to take care of that little guy and get him healthy so he can go be wild. Because I would hate for him, even though a refuge probably would have been able to have healed him faster, there was none that had room for him. But I would actually really rather him stay wild than go to a refuge and get half tame, because his instincts will be much better and he'll survive much better as a wild deer. So we're trying to keep him wild, and as he comes out tentatively to pick in the barn lot, he finds stuff that we've thrown over the fence, but he doesn't have any really interactions with us unless I come out and see him and I'll talk to him, but then he'll run and hide, and then I'll do what I need to do and I'll get back inside, and then he'll come back out and pick. So we try to keep him scared of people, but I'm a steward of nature in this land, so that's my job. And my game warden was, I was like, really? I was like, there's nowhere. I was like, he was like, no, but y'all know what to do. Y'all know how to keep them safe. Y'all know how to keep them wild. And I was like, okay. He's like, if I thought you were gonna try to turn him into a pet, he's like, I would probably, take him halfway across the state. He's like, but I know y'all keep him wild. And I was like, okay. So we've just kind of let him have the barn lot, and when we go out, we make a lot of noise so that he runs and hides, because we want him to always do that. And then he comes out and picks when we go in, and he's decimated my lower garden, but that's okay. He's doing good. He needs it. And he loves the mineral lick. It's really helped him quite a bit, perk up quite a bit. And David chucked it over behind the barn, and deer are used to finding mineral licks close to barns where horses and stuff have been. So that, it's not a strange thing for him, but it really has perked him up, and I've noticed he's had a better sheen to him the last couple of days when I've seen him. So I'm hoping that here in about 4 or 5 weeks, when the deer change their movements because they're going to start coming into the rut soon, that he will find another doe or another group that's got some younger deer still in the group, and he will follow them off when his leg is healed. So the day that I go out and I no longer see him, I will know that he has wandered off and gone to become what he needs to become. So, well, some people might feel that way, and you might feel that way. Starvation is something I wouldn't wish on anyone, and that's why we are so adamant to keep our numbers in balance here so that our animals stay healthy. But human psychology, when you start to starve and your body starts to process your own organs for food, your mind changes and your determination changes. And so I rarely ever say I would not do something, because life will humble you and put you in a position to where you'll learn that you will do those things. So, but I mean, if you live in Appalachia, we have 2 grocery stores and 1 small vegetable place. So lots of us still rely on our grass-fed beef and our deer and whatever else game that we harvest during the seasons. And people think that hunting is going out and shooting however many you want, whenever you want. No, there are certain days you can hunt. There are only so many you can harvest. I think for deer, it's like two. Like in archery, you can normally it's like 1 to 2, but it either have to be a buck. They only have certain days for does, and so it takes a whole family hunting to put 4 deer up, because you're limited. You can only hunt so many days, and you can only harvest so many. So it takes the whole family to put enough deer up to feed the family for the winter. So everybody has to be hunting, and you have to really use the seasons, and you really have to everything that is in season that is edible. You need to harvest, especially if you live backwoods like us and you rely on the land and and the wildlife to feed you. So you got engaged yesterday. Well, congratulations. That's a wonderful thing. It's the beginning of a whole new way of life. The first 2 years of marriage are the hardest, and then after that, you just kind of gel. I've been married almost 21 years, so we're very happy for you, Rebecca. That's wonderful news. Anyone that can find love in this crazy world, it should be celebrated. Oh, congratulations! Life's just a blooming for you. That's wonderful. See, there's still so much to celebrate in this world, and our government and people sometimes they want to focus on the problems. There's still so much to be celebrated in life and in this world and in our relationships and in our even in families and families are never perfect. Like dysfunction is the only thing we all share. Masters in psychology here, I swear that dysfunction is the only thing we all share. But there's always so much to be thankful for and to be cherished, to be celebrated, rather than to be upset about. And I always try to look at the positives, because if you look at the negatives, you're going to become such a resentful human being. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to let anyone steal my joy, and I'm going to celebrate life. And we may have the most corrupt government and the most nonsensical people leading our world, but we got some good people down here in the lower ranks, and we got some stuff to celebrate. We've got some good things happening. August the 28th. Well, I will be thinking of you on that day. I put my wedding date on December 7th, because if you marry a man and you put your wedding on a date that something went boom, Pearl Harbor, they remember. He never forgets our wedding date because it's Pearl Harbor Day. Oh, see, we've got in succession things to be happy for. Well, you need to come back and check in with us and tell us how things are going, and let us know when the little guy arrives, and how long you was and how much you weighed. Give us all the mama spear that you want to. We will love to know. We're a close-knit group here on this channel, so life is changing for you, but in a lot of positive ways. So congratulations. Enjoy every minute of it. There are going to be so many people trying to steal your joy. Make sure you enjoy every minute of it. And when people try to steal your joy, just know, bless their heart, they have none, so they don't want anyone else to have any either. And that's when you need to exude more joy, so that maybe it will be contagious for them. So, but always be happy for people. I try to, even people that freaking irritate the far out of me, I still want them to do well and have good lives and be happy. Because happiness is contagious. Negativity is as well, but happiness always will win if we can just get it going in the right direction. That's beautiful. That's a strong name. That will serve them well. That's a very strong name. Congratulations, Rebecca. I hope that you subscribe and you come back and you tell us how you're doing and how everybody's doing. And normally I do craft stuff, and every once in a while I go on a little soapbox rant, but mostly I do craft stuff where I talk about Appalachia or my lifestyle and stuff like that. Garden rambles. My husband is a fur trapper tanner. You don't have to watch all my videos. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and some stuff that I do in my life you may not like. Skip those videos and just join in on the ones that make you smile. And I'm completely okay with that. But we would love for you to come back and tell us how things are going, because that's just in 2 weeks your whole world is going to evolve into a whole nother level of happy. So, and I try to do a couple lives a week where we just get together and it's about sitting at the kitchen table and having coffee with your friend. If you need people to talk to while you're at home with baby, and sometimes it can get a little stressful and a little lonely those first few months, because sleep and functioning is difficult when you have a little one. If you need a support system and you see us on live and you need to talk to us, we're here for you. Liz is a learning experience. I'm strange. But if you see us live and you need to vent, we're a good group because we actually really do care about each other. We're actually a pretty tight-knit family. Y'all have very strong names. You must have I would say you have a very strong genealogical background. My mother named me Elizabeth, but I think it was just so that I would have a heck trying to learn how to spell my name in kindergarten. They thought about naming me after my great-grandpa Elsie, and I was going to be called Elsbeth. No. Elsbeth. I mean, I'm old-fashioned, but Elsbeth. Never a dull moment. No, my life is never dull. Like yesterday, I thought it was going to be a day of rest and crafting. Refrigerator went out. I had to go buy a new refrigerator, get it delivered, get them swapped around. My body was exhausted, and I'm still sore today. So I'm doing a lot more resting today and just kind of little stuff, because I have to stand for an hour and a half tomorrow to enter my stuff in the fair, my photography in the fair. So I've been lazy today. Okay, one more look at the pictures, and then I'm going to sign off. These are where I'm entering in the fair. This is my daughter and her cat Muffin Butt from like 13 years ago. My bonus child from like 8 years ago, and another cat, Emperor. They were in the barn lot. I caught a sweet moment. I took a picture. Haley and her pony Cream Corn. She slid off around Bella Hay, and the pony came to say, "Are you okay?" Caught a moment there. Had to take a picture. I love photography. I always had a camera in my hand. Girl asked me to do pictures of her and her walking horse. He died not too long after that. He was an older horse. And I just caught the perfect old tree and the perfect sun moment on that. And I love that photo. This is one that is my gem. This is my daughter in her prom dress at an old, just absolutely decimated gas station from like the 50s, 40s, and 50s. But the juxtaposition of this beautiful girl in her beautiful prom gown and this old broke down building, I loved it. So I'm going to enter that one. I really hope this one does well, because I'm very proud of that photo. This is the girl and her horse doing a forehead-to-forehead moment, and I'm very proud of this picture too. I caught a moment with him. Like I said, the horse passed away not too long after. He was an older horse, which is why we did the photos. Got to throw my dog in there, Oscar. He gave me a very regal pose one day, and I snapped a photo, and I thought, well, that's cute. I love black and white photography. I love it. And then I'm thinking about entering David's hillbilly photo with him in his overalls where I did the lumberjack session. I don't know. But if I do, I will let you know. And if next weekend we'll know, well, before next, I don't know when, I think they do the judging Monday or Tuesday. So if I get to go back to the fair this week, if my legs let me and I get to go walk through the exhibition things, I will see if I won or if I placed anywhere. I don't have super high hopes because we have so many talented people here and such great photographers. But if I actually do any good, I'll let you know. But it'll be if my body and legs are able to get me back to the fairgrounds to walk through and check. Because I've had a lot this last week that I've had to do on top of my physical therapy stuff, and my legs are a little stressed right now, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a little concerned, but I'm still going, so I'm just gonna take it a day at a time. But I am excited to have worked this hard to get my body back to where I can do these things, because this disorder is so much like MS, but it's more aggressive. And so I was constantly in flare, constantly unable to really do a whole lot. And now I'm sneaking back into life a little bit, and I'm just super happy. I'm super happy to share my little weird life with you all. And I'm super happy that we've got some newbies popping in. And Rebecca, I'm going to be thinking about you, sending up some good vibes and some prayers, and wishing you and the baby and the best delivery possible, the best experience possible. It really is a beautiful thing. Your body takes over and knows what to do. Just you're along for the ride. Mother Nature just, you go, sit down, shut up, I got this. So don't be scared. And it's amazing what the body knows to do from instinct. It's amazing. Even though you've never had a kid before, it's amazing. It just kicks in and your body knows what to do. So we'll be sending you good energy and good vibes for a safe and happy and exuberant delivery. And you come back when you have time. Now, don't stress yourself. When you have time, you come back and let us know how things went. You're a little bit good. I'm glad you're better today, Sab. I had about 4 or 5 days there. I was not, like, every day was a struggle. Like, getting up the first 2 hours was like, ow, 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 ow. And it was a struggle. And then I'd get to where I would finally get my body moving a little bit, and I could get a little bit accomplished. And then the dew would drop, and I would go back to ow, 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 ow. Today's a little bit better. And, of course, I have to do physical therapy whether I want to or not. But now yesterday, having to clean out the fridge and go the extra fridge shopping and the extra steps, and it was not good for me. So it's made me struggle. So today I'm literally chilling. I think this evening I'm going to ride with David down to Forbes General Store. I might do a little video inside of Forbes. If y'all have never been to Forbes General Store, if you have not watched Sergeant Alvin C. York, the movie with Gary Cooper, it's on YouTube free. Go watch it. That is where I live from. He lives 12 minutes down the road from me, Sergeant Alvin C. York. Tummy cramp. God bless your heart, honey. But go watch that movie. That is about my area. And I'm actually going to Forbes General Store this evening to meet a guy that wants a fox fur that David's got. And we don't know if we're going to get something at Forbes to nibble, or if we're going to come back up to the Alvin C. York Park. They've got a country store and a restaurant. We might get us some dinner there. We don't know. But we're going to turn it into a date night, because I don't normally get out. So we're going to make it into like a date night. So I will try to take a little bit of video if I remember, and do maybe another video tonight, friends. But that's all I got for you now. I'm glad we had this little chit chat. I'm going to check on Dave, make sure he's still doing pretty good. I've been trying to make him drink extra electrolytes while he's been doing all this fleshing, because his hands cramp so bad. I've got his right hand wrapped because his thumb is raw, and bless his heart, this bear is a big job. But like I said, if he did not offer his fleshing skills to this man, that man was not going to be able to afford to get the bear tan, because the fleshing and the tanning at certain places is several $100s. And David can help this guy out and do it and get the tanning done at a much cheaper rate. So this bear will be respected, honored, and cared for, and it won't go to waste. And so this man can keep this hide and remember his hunts. And and we just didn't want to see such a beautiful animal waste. And when you see the video that I'm going to put together, he's beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to try to. I'm hoping my legs will chill out and let me enjoy. The little place I'm going, actually ate there with Regina and Kim, Gypsy and Kim, and played pool with Gypsy's girl. It's a cute little place, half museum, half store. And it's right by Alvin C. York's house. And, it's just 12 minutes down the road. We're going to have to drive about 25-30 minutes to Forbes. But we may come back up to that little country store, because their restaurant's really, really good. I have to take my next shot tomorrow. So tonight, if I want to actually enjoy anything, tonight's the night I can actually enjoy something. But I'm still eating really clean and doing really good. And I'm losing more than I anticipated losing on the 2.5 dose, which is the smallest dose of Manjaro you can take. So Doing really good. Can't complain. Life's good. My refrigerator died, but he was almost 21, so bless his heart, he lived a long, long life. And but things are going okay. Life has its ups and downs. My air conditioner's making that balance. Life has its ups and downs, but when I'm in the valley, I know that I'm going to be climbing a hill soon. So I just try to enjoy the perspective of both places. And I'm going to shut up and end on that. I love you guys. Thanks for spending time with me, Rebecca. Enjoy your pregnancy. Happy, 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 safe delivery for you. We're going to be worried about you, so come back and check in with us. And I will speak to the rest of y'all probably tomorrow. Be watching for videos. They'll be coming down the chute. I'm doing more, feeling better. Maybe even some stuff about the fair tomorrow. We'll see. Bye, guys.